Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and welcome to Look Back, a series of videos that I do where I take a look at games that I reviewed 1, 5, 10, and 20 years ago. So let's go back 20 years ago. Woo-hoo. This week I took a look at Real Action Stock Car Champion. This is a racing game which is clearly based on NASCAR, and it was fine 20 years ago. It's forgettable. It's okay. There's many other better racing games out there now. 6 out of 10. Farfalia. Same thing in a sense, except this one's about trick-taking. This is a trick-taking game. I think D.V. Giochi came out with this one, where when you win the trick, you pick one of the cards from the set and you're trying to get a Farfalia. Again, okay, 6 out of 10. 10 years ago, I reviewed Spellcaster, a very okay game from R&R Games, 6 out of 10. Roll Through the Ages, the Iron Age. Now, this one's an interesting one because Roll Through the Ages, the Bronze Age, we just say Roll Through the Ages. That's what we call it. A great roll and write game, which has stood the test of time. The Iron Age was like the sequel to it, and it just wasn't as good. 6 out of 10. Seven Kingdoms, a little card game from Gary Kim. Nice little game there. 7 out of 10. Patchwork is 10 years old. Oh, wow. So I gave this one a 7 out of 10, which most people think means I hate it. I don't. I think it's a great little two-player game. I don't love it as much as many others do, but I do see the appeal to it. There are many, many, many polyomino games, but a lot of them owe what they have to Patchwork. Murano. Murano is a game that I really like. The idea of moving your ship around and then getting resources and building up on the islands in the middle. It's a solid game that hasn't got enough love, and it's a little colorful, which I think is good. 8 out of 10. And Witness, another 10-year-old game which has just been reprinted in a smaller, kind of more succinct form. This is a game that was based on the comics called Blake and Mortimer, and it's a game where you're whispering in people's ears information, and you're all trying to remember this information, but you're passing it like whisper down the alley. It's a weird game that's not for everybody, but I enjoyed it. 8 out of 10. 5 years ago, I reviewed Humboldt's Great Voyage. Sadly for Humboldt, not a very interesting game. 5 out of 10. Dreamscape. This is from David Osloos, who I found I don't really care for his games. He usually does the game, the art, the graphic design, and the rules, and unfortunately, I don't really like any of the mixture of those things that he does. It doesn't work together very well for me. A 5 out of 10. Time Stories Revolution, the Hadal Project. Now, this one here, the sequel, this was the first in the new Time Stories. Time Stories 2. The Eat Your Ovaltine ending of Time Stories 1 definitely left a very bad taste in my mouth. And this one, there's some things that I like that it did better, and I realized when I play this, I no longer like this system, and this one had some major problems with it, I thought. An okay story, but a 5 out of 10. Corsairs of Valeria. This is one of the weakest of the Valeria games, a very slow, boring pirate racing style game. 5 out of 10. Taverns of Tiefenthal. This was the follow-up to Quacks of Quedlinburg, and I know a lot of people were very excited about this game, and a lot of people really enjoy it. But I don't love it because it's really just to draw a card and see what happens, and it just feels like there's too much luck in it. When I reviewed it, a lot of people said, you got to try all the modules. You know what? We did, and they make the game a little better, and honestly should have been in the game to begin with. But I just can't shake the feeling of meh. It's fine. It's not great. 6 out of 10. Circadian's First Light. There's a lot going on in this dice placement game. But I think it's interesting. There's a lot of cool things from Garfield Games. 7 out of 10. Ship Shape. This is a game from Calliope Games and their Great Designers line, which is pretty terrible across the board. There's a Great Designers line. But this is one of the better ones. And this might be the best one. A nice one where you're putting these tiles with holes in them and trying to stack them in different ways so that you can see down and get points. I like it. 7.5. And then Expedition to Newdale. Have you ever wanted to play the board game version of Oh My Goods? Well, here it is, 8 out of 10. All right, and just one game from last year during this time frame, and that's the new Time's Up Family Edition, which I kind of went in going, we don't really need one. And after I played it, I said, this works really well, especially for families, so a 7 out of 10. Now, you know what? Let's change that to an 8 out of 10. Well, there you go, folks. That's the games I reviewed 1, 5, 10, and 20 years ago. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games. We do top 10s. We play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.